Oh, there we go. There we go. This is what we're reading. I don't. It's a physical copy, so I will be just reading from this. Um, let's look at the index first, or like the chapters. Leadership lessons from a woman at the helm. I will say this to Sandy Yawn's credit, she is in a male-dominated industry as a captain of a boat, leading a lot of people and carrying people to and from the sea. Like I will give her credit, and from what we've seen, my husband loves this show. I watch this with my husband. We do not watch this together. I watch this with my husband. My husband loves it. So from what I've seen, she did seem to work her way up to this from like a deck position, and like earned her way to the captain position, but I'm not familiar with how that works in terms of like selling stuff. Indigenous culture and history is a huge gap in my knowledge. I'm trying to learn more, especially now that I live in the Pacific Northwest and I'm surrounded by active communities. The cover is, I think, like literally just a picture from the TV show, like a TV show ad. All right. So the chapter titles are great. There's an introduction, and then it does Chapter 1, True North. Chapter 2, On the Seafloor. Chapter 3, Captain of My Soul. Chapter 4, Fathoms Deep. Chapter 5, listen to these. I'm gonna ask you guys to pick a favorite chapter. Chapter 5, Work That Knot. Chapter 6, Meet Me on the Bridge. Chapter 7, Put on Your Whites. Chapter 8, All Crew. And Chapter 9, Roll With It. Do you want me to read? I can read the list top to bottom again. Let's just work that knot. It's pretty good. I'm gonna go top to bottom. True North, On the Seafloor, Captain of My Soul, Fathoms Deep, Work That Knot, Meet Me on the Bridge, Put on Your Whites, All Crew, Roll With It. What do we think, chat? How did this end up in my possession? I bought this as a gift for my husband. My joke for him is that because this is the only book he owns, that his political ideology is Yawnist. He is a Yawnism. He practices Yawnism. Work that knot? Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. $91. It's gonna be like self-help, you know? So prepare to learn about yourselves, comrades, and how to be better people. But it's about like leadership. So there's a whole like Sandy's log thing. I don't know, I'm looking at the wrong thing. There's a whole Sandy's log thing. Me looking at my phone for chat, and I just tried showing you guys there. There it is, Chapter 5. I love boats, but not like this. I'm afraid of boats. Well, I'm afraid of the ocean. I'll go on a boat on the lake, but I really won't go on a boat on the ocean. Work that knot. Every problem has a creative solution. This is a quote from Donna Karen. It's capitalism, not capitalism. That's pretty good. Can it help your husband into reading? No, because he hasn't read very much of this. I think the most he read of it is like when he got it and he opened it up, probably just to humor me. Probably just to humor me. I don't think he's actually read very much of it. But he was very happy that he got it. Anchors have always been my Achilles heel. Well, next to finding decent galley chefs who aren't crazy. They get stuck. They drag. They disappear. To lose one is unthinkable. It is illegal to pull into a harbor without one, and it can cost tens of thousands of euros in fines and replacement costs. A messed up anchor is not my worst nightmare, but it's right up there. On one occasion, an anchor picked up a power line off Saint-Tropez in the French Riviera. Imagine the liability. This is already, we're talking about cost twice now. Imagine the liability. The deck crew had to jump in the water, tie a line onto the cable, attach it to the other windlass on deck, then haul it up. The idea was to take the weight off the power cable, releasing the anchor so it could be dropped back down, freeing it from the cable. But these maneuvers are risky, because if the chains release in an uncontrolled way, they could take off a person's limb. Once free of the tangled mess, my crew lifted anchor again to make sure nothing was attached to it. They spent hours working out the safest way to free it, lifting and releasing without damaging the power cable and leaving thousands of locals without power. Hey, it happens. But had there been any damage, we would have had to pay for the entire thing. Man, it sucks when you accidentally catch onto a city's entire power supply. If only there was some way to not do that. We actually watched a scene on the show where there was something wrong with the anchor and something was caught up in it, and they mentioned that whenever you're like swimming around the chains attached to the anchor, it's a huge risk. And the way they edit the show is really annoying, because they do the reality TV show thing where they edit the time, so it makes you think that things are way more suspenseful than they actually are. So if you pay really close attention, you can see them like clipping everything super short and drawing out the situation for much longer and reusing the same short clip of them like doing something over and over again. But I did remember thinking, when what they showed us on the show, I remember thinking, I just don't see how this specific situation is going to cause them to lose a limb. But I will, again, I am not a boat person, so I will take your word for it, I guess. But I think that it's just, they did a lot of TV show editing to make something really benign seem extremely scary. I hate when my anchor gets stuck on a cable, when a penis ring gets stuck to my IUD. That sounds like a problem in two directions. And when I am fortunate, I will never experience for any reason. So many operational glitches can happen in yachting, and each one has tested my captaining skills. Getting through these situations requires plenty of creative problem solving. You can't panic or give up. You need to think clearly and trust you'll come up with a solution. And then it gives me the exact same section that we just read. Just like as like a little quote box. She quoted herself. She said, "That sounds good." On and offshore, the best leaders prepare for the unthinkable. They have a plan B, C, and D. If you're out with your sales force at a client site meeting, for example, and you sense you are about to lose the deal, you don't panic. You pause, read the room, and pivot in a way that the negotiation's back on track. Yeah, see, it's capitalist flop. The deal. We'll add Art of the Deal to the slop versus good book vote. As I shared in chapter 1, we didn't read chapter 1, you can react in fear or choose courage. The former won't make the sale because people can smell desperation. Be brave and allow your wit, resourcefulness, and humor to rise to the surface and earn the win. Not that I had a choice with that pesky knot. When an anchor gets stuck or a chain gets tangled, there is so much at stake, from the safety of the souls on board to the possibility of losing an entire character season. Oh, no, sorry, charter season. A charter season is like, they'll have like 2 or 3 months of where the boat is like super, super active, and every time someone gets off the boat, someone else gets on the boat for their own like trip. Yeah, charter season is greater than people's lives. Yeah, make sure that if you have yeah, don't forget that you could lose limbs fixing this anchor, and if you don't fix this anchor, you could lose out on your charter season. So it's better to get your worker into the water, have them fix that anchor, and make sure you can get out there for the next charter season. Oh, we actually got to watch the COVID season of Captain Yawn's Mediterranean thing. What is it? Below Deck Mediterranean, Below Deck Med is the shorthand. We got to watch the COVID season. And as always, watching anything that is COVID era for me is extremely stressful because it doesn't ever seem like it goes far enough. Do you all know about the South Korean ferry that sunk full of high schoolers, and it was super messed up, and they basically let all the kids die? No. No, I do not know about that. But if you share a link, I will grab it from the chat and read up on it. Where were we? Oh, a tangled mess. In many ways, the tangled chain of an anchor is this whole chapter about this anchor. It's common for like 2 pages. The next page does also mention saving the anchor. Seawolf Ferry. I'm writing it down. In many ways, the tangled chain of an anchor serves as the perfect metaphor for how to approach a problem from all angles and persist until the chain breaks free. The point is that, with a never say die attitude, no obstacle is insurmountable. You have to be creative and independent. It can be frustrating and exhausting to untangle it, but you must lean into any problem you come up against, reminding everyone why it matters and encouraging your people to work that knot. I always share with my crew that it's easy to smile and be in a good mood when everything is going as planned. It's how we show up in moments when it goes south that matters most. This is like an HR training. It's how we show up in moments when it goes south that matters most. It's during the worst of times that you get to choose if you want to character build and become that person who can maintain calm in the middle of chaos. Be the calm. Be the calm. Choose it. Choose to be calm every time. Like one evening of a charter when we had to drop both anchors due to the gale force winds that were predicted. When I went to bed, things looked relatively calm. But all through the night, the vessel turned and twisted the anchor chains together so tight it looked impenetrable. This epic chain knot occurred during season 2 of the show, while we were anchored off a remote cove of an island off the coast of Croatia, with demanding, hard-partying guests on board and a relatively green crew. Malia had been on overnight anchor watch, but I didn't blame her for the tangled chain. Boats swing on anchor. It happens. We were a little too close to some craggy rock formations, and the winds could have caused the boat to drag, relocate, and get dangerously close. That was my main concern. The Mediterranean can be a treacherous sea with medicanes that come out of nowhere. I've been on the Mediterranean when the wind suddenly gusted to 70 and 100 knots. Someone tell me what that is in normal speed. Be the commie. Correct. Actually. Who is the target audience for this? So for this chapter, it's someone who needs to hear about how to